In 3000 BCE, in early dynastic Egypt, Thoth worship emerges in early temple cults. This matters because early veneration links Thoth to the moon, timekeeping, and divine order. In 2600 BCE, in Old Kingdom Egypt, Thoth is formalized as god of writing and divine records. This matters because he is credited with inventing hieroglyphs and maintaining divine records, becoming the patron of scribes and wisdom. In 2200 BCE, in Old Kingdom Egypt, Thoth appears as recorder in divine judgment scenes. This matters because it establishes Thoth's role in weighing truth and recording outcomes in the afterlife. In 2000 BCE, in Middle Kingdom Egypt, Thoth is integrated into coffin texts and funerary magic. This matters because his spells and writings guide souls through death and judgment. In 1500 BCE, in New Kingdom Egypt, Thoth is associated with Ra's solar bark and cosmic governance. This matters because he regulates time, ritual cycles, and Ma'at within the divine court. In 1200 BCE, in New Kingdom Egypt, Thoth is linked to lunar measurement and calendrical systems. This matters because it reinforces his role in structuring sacred time, festivals, and cosmic cycles. In 1200 BCE, in early Mesoamerican cultures with Proto-Olmec and Olmec influence, the feathered serpent archetype emerges in ceremonial art. This matters because it represents an early union of sky, symbolized by feathers, and earth, symbolized by the serpent, and the concept develops roughly between 1200 and 400 BCE. In 700 BCE, in late period Egypt, titles emphasizing Thoth as supreme wisdom deity expand. This matters because honorific language elevates Thoth above most gods in intellectual authority. In 500 BCE, in ancient Israel and Second Temple Judaism, Enoch is described as a righteous scribe and visionary in Second Temple literature. This matters because it establishes Enoch as a recorder of divine knowledge and cosmic order, setting the groundwork for the later identity of Metatron. In 300 BCE, in Second Temple Jewish tradition, Enoch is taken alive into the heavens in apocalyptic tradition. This matters because it introduces the concept of ascension without death, a precursor to Metatron as an exalted being. In 200 BCE, in Ptolemaic Egypt, Thoth is syncretized with Greek Hermes as Hermes Trismegistus. This matters because that fusion creates the Hermetic wisdom archetype credited with cosmic and esoteric teachings. In 100 CE, in early Jewish mysticism, Enoch is transformed into the angel Metatron in mystical interpretation. This matters because it marks the transition from a human prophet to a highest-ranking angelic figure. In 150 CE, in Roman Egypt and the wider Mediterranean, Hermetic texts attributed to Hermes, Thoth circulate widely. This matters because these Hermetica influence philosophy, alchemy, astrology, and mystical thought across cultures. In 200 CE, in Merkabah and Hecalot literature, Metatron is described as celestial scribe and keeper of divine records. This matters because it positions Metatron as recorder of human deeds and administrator of heavenly order. In 250 CE, in the Teotihuacan region, the feathered serpent cult formalizes at a major urban center. This matters because the temple of the feathered serpent becomes a focal point of ritual power, with worship active roughly from 400 BCE to 250 CE. In 300 CE, in rabbinic mystical tradition, Metatron is referred to as the lesser YHWH in mystical texts. This matters because it highlights theological tension around Metatron's authority and his proximity to divine power. In 600 CE, in Hecalot mysticism, Metatron is associated with heavenly palaces and throne visions. This matters because it expands his role as guardian of the divine throne and gatekeeper between human mystics and the divine presence. In 800 CE, during the Islamic Golden Age, Islamic scholars fold Hermes, Thoth into prophetic lineages as Idris. This matters because it preserves Thoth's wisdom legacy through Hermes in Arabic esoteric and scientific traditions. In 900 CE, in Toltec cultural memory, Tepiltzin Quetzalcoatl is remembered as priest-king of Tula. This matters because the myth blends deity with human rulership, emphasizing restraint, learning, and opposition to human sacrifice between roughly 900 and 1150 CE. In 950 CE, in Toltec civilization at Tula, Quetzalcoatl is emphasized as priestly ideal and ethical ruler. This matters because leadership is framed as alignment with cosmic order rather than domination. In 1200 CE, in medieval Kabbalah in Spain and Provence, Metatron is integrated into Kabbalistic tree of life systems. This matters because it positions Metatron as structural intelligence linking divine emanation to manifested reality. In 1460 CE, in Renaissance Italy, Marsilio Ficino translates the Corpus Hermeticum into Latin. This matters because it triggers a Hermetic revival and repositions Hermes, Thoth as a primordial sage and source of ancient wisdom. In 1500 CE, in early modern Jewish mysticism, Metatron is invoked in practical Kabbalah and angelic magic. This matters because Metatron becomes a central name in angelic invocation and protective rites. In 1614 CE, in early modern Europe, Isaac Casaubon critically redates Hermetic texts to late antiquity. This matters because it challenges claims about their extreme antiquity but does not erase Thoth's esoteric influence. In 1900 CE, in late 19th and early 20th century Western esoteric movements, Metatron is referenced in early modern occult and theosophical writings. This matters because he is recast as an abstract cosmic intelligence within new spiritual hierarchies. In 1904 CE, in the British occult revival, Aleister Crowley begins development of the Thoth tarot system. This matters because the modern occult revival reframes Thoth as patron of a tarot deck and archetype of hidden knowledge. In 1932 CE, in American cinema, the Scroll of Thoth is featured as a key artifact in the film The Mummy. This matters because it introduces Thoth's name to mass audiences as keeper of forbidden life and death knowledge. In 1944 CE, in Western esotericism, Crowley's work The Book of Thoth is published. This matters because it solidifies Thoth's role in modern tarot and ceremonial magic systems. In 1960 CE, in Western New Age movements, Thoth is invoked in New Age and Neo-Hermetic writings as an ascended master or guide. This matters because it transforms Thoth from a historical deity into a metaphysical teacher in channeled texts and modern spiritual systems. In 1980 CE, across 20th century occult and ceremonial magic, Metatron is adopted into Western ceremonial magic systems. This matters because it carries Metatron from Jewish mysticism into Hermetic and ceremonial magic lineages. In 1990 CE, in late 20th century esoteric and pop spiritual writings, Metatron is popularized in New Age circles as an organizing intelligence of light grids and higher realms. This matters because his role shifts from primarily Jewish mystical angel to global metaphysical archetype of cosmic structure. In 1997 CE, in American cinema, Metatron is portrayed as the voice of God in the film Dogma. This matters because it popularizes Metatron as a celestial bureaucrat translating divine will into human language. In 2000 CE, in global pop culture, Metatron appears as a cosmic administrator in comics and other narrative media. This matters because he becomes a recurring figure representing cosmic law, order, and divine bureaucracy in modern fiction. In 2001 CE, in Japanese video games and mecha fiction, the orbital frame Jehuti, named after Jehuti or Thoth, appears in Zone of the Enders. This matters because Thoth's alternative name is associated with advanced technology and combat mythology in a futuristic setting. In 2005 CE, in modern occult and angel-focused spirituality, Metatron is framed as an angel of ascension and spiritual awakening in books and workshops. This matters because his identity is reinterpreted for personal transformation and self-help spiritual frameworks. In 2010 CE, in modern myth channels and comparative religion discussions, Quetzalcoatl is increasingly presented as a civilizing deity rather than a simplistic alien figure. This matters because it reframes him back into his cultural context as a god of knowledge, ethics, and responsibility. In 2010 CE, in early 21st century internet and media culture, Metatron appears in fantasy television series and online fan discussions. This matters because his archetype as cosmic administrator becomes familiar to mainstream audiences, not just occult circles. In 2010 CE, in global internet culture and digital creators, Quetzalcoatl appears across indie media, webcomics, and educational channels. This matters because he is used in comics, animation, and myth channels as a symbol of sophisticated Mesoamerican cosmology and civilizing power. In 2010 CE, in global gaming culture, Metatron is referenced or reimagined in role-playing games and strategy games. This matters because Metatron is used as shorthand for supreme angelic authority and cosmic judgment. In 2014 CE, in global gaming culture, Thoth is introduced as a playable god in the game Smite. This matters because it reintroduces Thoth to a global audience through interactive media, emphasizing his magic, precision, and knowledge themes. In 2020 CE, in global pop culture, Thoth continues to appear across modern myth-inspired media. This matters because he persists as a symbol of intelligence, records, magic, and cosmic order across multiple platforms. In 2020 CE, in global pop culture, Metatron continues to function as a symbol of cosmic structure and mediation. This matters because he maintains relevance as an archetype of order, mediation, and divine bureaucracy in modern mythmaking.